Hi guys, welcome back to our Greenhorn's Guide lesson 2. So we're going to create a new program today and we're going to look at the import and the package statement. So let's get to it. Okay, so I've created a new class called lucky number, public my access modifier, class lucky number. And here's my entry point, public static void main string array args. That's an entry point. Java looks at this. The Java JRE looks at this as the entry point. And what I've done here, I've created a variable called name of type string. And don't worry too much about these types and things. We will go deeper into them throughout the course. But for now, this is a string. A string stores characters like this or numbers or any type of character. I've put my name there, João. And then an int is an integer which can store negative and positive numbers of a certain size. And I've indicated my age there. Then I've also got a lucky number reference as an int, and yeah, I'm actually instantiating new means instantiate, create an object, and I'm creating an object of type random, and at this object, once it's created, I'm calling the next int 100, and we'll get to it now. And then you've seen this before, and then I'm displaying it. The System.out.print line tells me to display it onto my console. And yeah, in this print, I'm saying print out this string literal my name is. So I put it in this block with these apostrophes here, quotation marks actually. With these quotation marks, and you see I've got a space there. And then I'm saying add my name to it. This is called concatenate. It concatenates a string to another string. This is of type string. It's a string literal. You can write it out like that inside here. And then I'm attaching that value, that name over here to it. So it's going to be my name is João. And then I'm concatenating to the result of this string a full stop, and this is a special backslash here n is a special character in Java, means I want a line space. So what I'm doing is it's printing my name is João full stop, and then it's giving me a line space, meaning it's going to print the next information on the next line. This got nothing to do with the next line. I'm just doing it like that. I could have had it all on one line. It's just to make it more readable. So then I can say concatenate, and I'm just putting the Java will ignore the white space here, and it will come to the next one here, and it will print I'm with a space there. You see I left a space. And then I concatenate the int value, and there's a special method in the print line that takes this and makes it an integer. So it makes it a string. So it converts it to a string of 56. So it will add I'm 56 space years old and my lucky number. And yeah, I'm concatenating, and it ignores the white space, and this is just so it's more readable. Could all have been on one line. Today, and I'm saying yeah, I'm 56 years old, and my lucky number today is, and it's going to give me a random number. Okay, so let's see what happens if I save this, and I'm just going to save it quickly. I'm going to say save. And remember, I've got to save it somewhere. So I'm just going to put it under let's say under my D drive. I'm going to call this folder, let's call it lesson 2. Okay. So I'm going to save it under lesson 2. And remember, I have to save it the same. If you recall from the previous one, I have to call it lucky number, just like it's over there, dot Java. So I'm going to say lucky number dot Java and save it there. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my command line in Windows. If you're using Linux, you'd go to that one. I'm just going to make this thing a bit smaller so we can see more. Okay, so there's it. Now that's under my D drive, if you recall. So I'm going to go to my D drive there, and I'm changing my directory, and I'm going to go to lesson 2. So my current directory, and this is important for later. I'm going to show you why. My current directory now, my working directory now, I'm under lesson 2. So I can just go and compile it now. Java, lucky number dot Java, and if I did everything right, it should compile. Let's see. Oh, and it's giving me an error. Now what's going on here? If you look here, it's telling me the compiler is telling me on the stack trace, it's telling me lucky number dot Java line 7, there's an error. And it's asking me, but what is this new random? Yeah, it doesn't understand this. Okay, so this is what I want to show you guys now. I'm actually using a class that I created an instance of a class, but where am I getting this class? I don't have such a class. Okay, so this is a class comes with a Java in its Java that's packaged with Java. And I want to show you how to go look for the classes there and how to look for it. You can just go to your Explorer. I'm just opening up Explorer quickly. Just bring it here so you can see it. Okay. I just want to make it made it too big there. Okay. Now all you can do here is I say Java 11 API. We're using Java 11, so that's fine. I typed in search Java 11 API, and yeah, the first thing that comes out, overview, all the classes and so on. You can just open this one, and yeah, I'm in the Java, and now there's a whole lot of them, but basically we're using the Java base. Okay, so that's the module we on modules, yeah, Java base, and this is all the packages and all the classes that are shipped with Java, with the JRE and JDK that you're going to use basically when you're programming. And I'm just going to just make this a bit smaller. Okay. So when you look at this, now I'm in Java base. Now I'm using, and I know where this package, I'm using a random class, which is in the utilities package. Now this is important here as packages. So what Java does, it stores or sorts, would say, the classes that are doing a specific function in a certain package. Okay, so you'll see that you got Java I/O, and I/O stands for input output, and it will tell you, yeah, provides for system input output. So when you're going to write things to read from and to files, you would go into this package, and you'll find a whole lot of classes and interfaces. You see, here's the classes, here's a console class, here's a file class, and so on. Okay, So I'm just going to go back one there. And this Java lang, this one comes with default. So in my lucky number, I'm just looking for it. It keeps on hiding now. Oh, why is it doing that? Yeah, in my lucky number, it already includes the java.lang package. Okay, so that's already included. So everything in the, I've got access to everything that's in the Java lang package. And why I say that is, if you look here, it's complaining about this random clause here, that it doesn't see it. But if you look at my source code, I've also got a string here. Now, a string is also a class. These are primitive types. We'll still come to them. But this string is a class. So in Java, usually your classes, you start, it's just a convention. But in Java, your classes, your types, a class and a type refers to the same thing. You start with a capital. So you see this string is a class, and this is a string array, which is also a class, an object. Okay, and this one as well, yeah, system. But it's not complaining about that. It's only complaining about random. Why? Because that one is already included. So if I go back to this java.lang, if I go and look in there, and I go look for the class string, you'll see it's here. There it is, you see. And it's got a lot of methods in the string class that I could have used. I could have said something like that string, I wanted, let's say I wanted to, whatever I've got there, to uppercases. And then you could have gone and used to uppercase, to lowercase, to uppercase. Okay, so there's a lot of methods there. We'll still come to them. But now I'm looking for the random class. Now my random class, I know I've used it a lot of times, is in the util package, which is for the utilities. So I'm just going to go to the utility. I'm actually coming in the package Java lang. I'm just going to go to the utilities package, and you'll see it's there. Okay, Java util. And if I go in there, I will find it there under the util package. So I'm under classes now. Is this classes? There's classes. So it's random. So let's look for R because it's alphabetical, OPQR, and there it is. And under random, there's a lot of methods there. And the method I'm using is nextInt. Now let's look for nextInt. Here's nextInt. And I'm using the one I put in. I'm using this one because I put in a number there. And this, if you look here, just to see what I mean, you see, I put in nextInt number, number 100. And this, according to the description, you can go read up here, it returns a pseudo-random int between 0 inclusively, so it could return 0, and a specific value excluded, so meaning that the last value is excluded, so it would return me a number from 0 to 99. Okay, to make this easier to read, I could have done this, and let's just do that. And then, okay, let's delete that there. I'm taking that out there, and I'm actually going to use then lucky number, the reference, lucky number dot nextInt, like that. Then what I'm saying is create a class an object of that class, random, then using that reference, I'm calling its method nextInt, which I showed you down there, and give me a random number from 0 to 99. Okay, but now it's giving me this error. It's telling me it doesn't know where it is. Remember I told you that the java.lang is included, the strings, but as soon as I write the Java program, but this one is not. And this is where I've got to use the import statement. So just above my program, I put import. And if you go look at it, if you recall, I showed you, but I'll go back there. Where is this thing lying? It's lying under package java.util. So all I have to write is import this package, import java.util and the class, because this here, remember, this here becomes this, is the package plus the class name becomes the fully qualified name. Okay, so I would say import java.util.Random, just like that. Now, if everything is done right, hopefully, I should be able to compile it and run it. So let's see what happens now. If I say javac and I say lucky number dot java. Okay, let's see what happens. It gave me still a problem here. So let's see what the problem is. Okay, I made one error here. I made the changes, but if you see the star there, I haven't saved it. So I compiled, but my source code wasn't saved, so it doesn't see the changes. Okay, so be aware of this, because when a person uses IDEs, and if you set it to automatic, then it automatically saves and compiles. So you must remember that actually the IDE is automating this for you, but I'm not automating. I'm using a notepad and Java compiler. So I would have to say save first, so that it's saved. That star's gone away. So let's try it again. Okay, and it's still complaining. What's it complaining about? Okay, it's telling me, yeah, you see I made a change, but I wasn't looking properly. I said now new of random is a int, and a random is not an int. It's actually, this is actually a random. So let me just change this code here. Okay, so there I fixed it. So I'm instantiating an object of type random. So obviously its type is of type random, not of type int. Okay, then I'm saying random, use this reference to this object and then get the next int. Now before I had it directly here because I was saying new random here and then next int, and it was a shortcut and I didn't change the type and stuff here, so you can see it now. So let's save it again and let's try it now. Oh, okay, eventually we came right, but you see Java helps you with your errors to figure out what was wrong, and now it's working. So let's see if I run it now. And you without the dot class at the end. And if I went and look at it just for interest sake, before I actually ran it, there should be a class under where I put it under lesson 2, I believe it was. You'll see there's my lucky number source file and there's my lucky number class file, and that's what I'm calling here because I'm under lesson 1. Okay, there. You see, I'm under lesson 1, lesson 2, sorry, and then Java lucky number. Okay, so let's just run it. What, I spelled it wrong. Number. And here we go. Okay, so you can see what's happening here. If I look at the code, this line here, this one here, this is these two lines here. Okay, so what's happening there is the first line, my name is space name, which is that one there. And then I've got a full stop there, plus I'm telling it go to the next line. That's that forward slash, a backward slash in there is next line. And then I'm going I'm 56. So that age is there. Right there. And then years old. And my lucky number today, you see, although I'm concatenating the next line, it hasn't got that slash there in there, special character. So yeah, it sees it all as 1. Today is, and it gave me a number 76. Now let's see if this random works. We can just run it 2 or 3 times to see. And you see they gave me my lucky number now is 27. So my random 95. So my random number is working nicely. Okay, so if you can recall, I also mentioned that the java.lang is included. So that's why the string is already there. So let me just show you something. What if I said import java.lang? Then it's a string, so I'm going to say string. Let me just make sure about the spelling mistakes. So what if I say, you see the java.lang, if we go back here, and go back to the java.lang package, let me just see in what I'm in the util package now. So I'm just going to go to the java.lang package. And if I go to that package, you'll see that the string is there. Let me just go to classes, string, there it is. A string class represents character strings. Now I didn't need to do that. I didn't need to add this. Okay, I didn't need to, but say I did, what would happen if I add it? Let's just see if I save it and I try and compile it now. So I'm going to compile it. Java C, or I call it Javac. Lucky number dot Java. You see, it doesn't throw an error. So I can leave that one out. So let's run it again. Java lucky number. I spelled it right, and it's working fine. And it threw 27. Seems like my lucky number must be 27 because it's thrown it twice in a random in a short time. But anyway, you can see I didn't have the Java lang is included, so I didn't need to do that. I could have left it out, and it works just fine. Now another thing I want to show you guys with regards to the random number, the import, I can also use a wildcard instead of this. This is the class random. I can put a wildcard there, which would say any class that I'm using here that's part of the util package, and random is in the util package. If I use it, it's a namespace. It will get it for me. Okay, so if I do that and I try it again, and I say javac lucky number dot Java, and I say go, and it's fine. Number, and it's running like it's supposed to. Another thing I want to mention here, what if I delete this? We saw in the beginning, we got an error there when I compiled it. And I can do that again just to refresh you. So if I say java lucky number dot java, let me just save this. I didn't save the changes there. Let's just save it, make sure. Okay. And if I run this, if I compile it, in other words, yeah, I've got that problem again. Cannot find random. It doesn't know where it is because I don't have an import. There's another way that you can use your random. You can use a fully qualified. This is it's called a simple name. Now, when you got an import statement there, one of its facilities actually it reduces your typing, so it's much easier for you. But you could use the fully qualified name here, which, if you recall, it's java.util.Random. So if you use that there, then you're giving it its fully qualified name, and you shouldn't need to add any import there. So if I do that and I save it and I try and compile it now. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, it's still telling me there's a problem. Let's see what the problem is. See here, what I'm doing wrong is I gave it the fully qualified name this side, but I didn't give it that side. So it still doesn't know what that one is. So let's just add it there. Okay, there I've added it. So let's just compile it. And there it's happy. And if I run it again, and there my lucky number is 35 now. So you don't have to use your import statements, but then you'd have to, you see, your typing for every class. And as you write bigger programs, you're going to use lots and lots of classes that are supplied in the Java API ready for you to use, like this class string. I used each method to uppercase and so on. So you don't have to import, because then you can just use the fully qualified name. Remember, you have to, wherever that class is, you have to tell it the whole name. Okay. So yes, I just wanted to add that. And yeah. Okay, last thing I did mention, so I'm just going to show it since I mentioned it. In the string, I mentioned a to uppercase and a to lowercase method. So I could actually have gone and said yeah by name, or even over there, because this is a string. But let's do it, yeah, I could say name, and then at name, just like I used lucky number, the random, yeah, I used its method. I could use at string to uppercase, and you'd have to go and look if the spelling is right, and then it will, although I typed this in small letter characters here, let's see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to compile. Let's just see, did I save it? I forgot to save it. Let's save it. Let's make sure it's saved, the changes. Java lucky number .java. Looks right. It didn't throw out the error, so it's right. Let's see what happened if that method does anything. Number, Java number, and you see, although I typed it in capitals there, it's used a method. And if you go and look at that method, it's under string. So here's my string class. If I go look at the string class methods and use that one, you'll see I used to uppercase. So let's just go to here's my all methods. So I'm going to go to uppercase. So if I go to uppercase, LMNOPQRST. So I should be getting to it. Yeah. I use to uppercase, that's to lowercase, to uppercase, converts all the characters in the string to uppercase using the rules of the default locale, and locale is whatever your system is set to. Okay, so it's working fine, and that is how you would make use of a class supplied to you by Java. You would import it if it's not part of your java.lang. And this is the first part of lesson 2 that we discussed here, using the import statements. And I'm going to wrap it up on this one. And then I'll see you guys in the next lesson, where we will then carry on with part 2 of lesson 2. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed it. Send me comments if there's something that you would like me to add or delete, and just chat. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe and the notify button, all those things on YouTube and sort. Okay, so see you guys.